leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work. Y'all
hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Thornton Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Terms 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Yes. You know what we will do? We will shut shit down. Blessings. Yes, I had to spice things up for you a little bit. I don't know why my screen looked like that, but hopefully I can change it, guys, because I don't want to look like a circle all night. All day. I guess that's what we're going to be doing today. Blessings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. You're here with your host, Grace Levi. Hold on one second. Let me see something. Why am I looking like that? Y'all like this? This is going to be like this for this stream. Okay? All right. So today, if you guys are Nate Fields fans, what we're going to be doing is getting into his position. Let's see if he has any grounds for actual appeal. And we're going to see if TIffany Henyard has any grounds to get into the election for supervisor in Thornton. Okay. So I did find some information because I wanted to clarify, like, can she get in? Can't she get in? So that's what we're going to look at today. And we're going to look at that first. First, we're going to do a little short flashback. And while we're watching this flashback, I'm going to see, can I get my screen back together? Because it's looking kind of weird, y'all. Y'all like this? Do you like it? Let me know. If not, I'll just wait till my next stream to fix it. I think I did something a little different. Okay. Thank you. Let's play this.
Turmoil in Thornton Township as some government services are shut down. Supervisor TIffany Henyard spokespeople tell NBC5 it's because of liability issues amid a lapse in an insurance policy.
We were in Thornton Township today, and that main building was locked. No one was answering the main phone lines, and some services that are offered there are for electric and heating for low-income homes. We spoke to Henyard spokespeople today and trustees who are calling it a ploy.
What's going on? What do we do? What do we have to do?
Darlene Lewis was one of many Thornton Township residents who tried to get services at the main township building Wednesday, only to find it locked.
I'm going to be in the dark. My apartment is electric. I can't cook.
She risks losing electric services. Supervisor Henyard warned of a government shutdown the night before.
So is there a government shutdown, and that is why the building is closed?
Well, we were advised by the attorneys to close the building. The building shouldn't be open. The risk is great.
According to, let's stop right here, because allegedly the same insurance that covered the building is the same insurance that's been covering those Thornton vans, and people have been saying that those Thornton vans have still been moving and grooving. So as you can see, TIffany has been a little bit vindictive because she's feeling a little hurt because she lost two things back to back. She lost her candidacy for Thornton Township supervisor, in which we're going to talk about that, as well as she lost the case to the Dalton trustees in relation to Ronnie Bird, Solomon, but he's still there. I don't know what's going on with that. You see what I'm saying? And Smith, Catch a Dog Smith. I don't understand why Solomon is still there and who he's getting paid by, but I do recommend that You know who I'm talking to. Possibly Mr. Roberts. Y'all need to do a freedom of information request to see who's paying Solomon. What is going on with that? Because something's a little weird here. You know, his face is all over the place. And I know by this time TIffany Henyard is broke. Okay. So this is TIffany Henyard trying to get back. But what is she trying to get back at? We already know that she has filed a lawsuit. But before we get to that, let me just say this. Y'all see my shirt? I don't like this. Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna have to fix this. This is getting on my nerves. We're not about to do this, baby. This looks so weird. Give me a second. This shirt that I have on, I'm gonna have to show y'all. It came from, I'm gonna have to say it, my favorite resident. I appreciate her. Hold on one second. I don't know what. Yeah, this looks just ridiculous. And then I'm gonna be here trying to do it. All right, so I got my favorite shirt on. I got it from my favorite resident my favorite resident. Resident. I love her so much. Okay, it says Grace. It says now this is for me. Okay, because just the other day I was on and I was going in, and this is for me. This says the reason I can go through the fire and not look like what I've been through. The game changer. Okay, because if I tell y'all half the stories that I've been through, y'all be like, girl, you okay? You okay? Okay, so with that goes to say perseverance is what it is, staying positive, and I appreciate it, and having the right people around you to just keep you going and keep you being you. So thank you to my favorite resident. I couldn't just go on, but like, okay, she hooked me up. I got more to show y'all. She just spoiled me. I feel so spoiled. So anyway, let's move forward. Thank you so much. So we do know that TIffany filed the lawsuit. We're just going to flash back to that lawsuit. And I do want to give y'all some good news. From what I'm looking at, it looks like TIffany maybe knocked out the box completely for the Thornton Township supervisor position unless something happens. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all like, what? Unless what? Let's go. I'm just going to share the facts.
Thornton Township Supervisor TIffany Henyard is fighting back after Tuesday's caucus booted her off the ballot.
She says the move was a clear act of voter suppression. WGN's Emmy Victor has the latest.
At an event today, Supervisor Henyard says she is not giving up. She says she's now suing her political rival for voter suppression.
What happened to us on December 3rd was short of fairness. We didn't have our opportunity to be heard.
TIffany Henyard addressing her supporters for the first time since learning she will not be on the ballot in Thornton Township next year.
Let me just stop right here, family. This is where I think that Fitzgerald was at and where he signed his paper and may had a conversation with her. And that's why she thought that she can just put him on the first petition that she put in for a lawsuit. But I just wanted to highlight that because at this particular event or whatever this was supposed to be, she petitioned for people who was there to go in the back, sign the petition. Well, she told them, I said petition, but she told them to go in the back if they were interested in supporting her and sign the petition in the back. And I think she had somebody notarizing the documents because she was collecting her evidence. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all got to play this move like chess because TIffany don't sleep whenever she get an opportunity. So during this is where I believe she collected that information. You see what I'm saying? She's like, all right, we got the people here. Let's get them notarized and sign this document. And then I bet you she tried to subpoena some of these people as well as Fitzgerald, okay? The mayor of Dixmoor.
She told me she does not accept Tuesday's caucus's results.
On December 3rd, 2024, your right to vote was hijacked by your committeeman, Senator Napoleon Harris.
Henyard, who currently serves as town supervisor, ran for re-election and lost to her rival, Napoleon Harris. Instead of a primary election, Thornton Township's Democrats held a caucus to vote for their party's candidate for supervisor. Henyard says most of her supporters weren't allowed in the packed room. A room full of Harris's supporters from an event being held in the same building before the caucus started.
We were all standing out there. No one was going in. It was past 6:30. We still could not get in.
6:40, we were still not going in. While her constituents were outside freezing, she decided to freeze with them, not knowing that they were going to conclude the whole matter before we could get in the building.
One of the only ways Henyard can still be supervisor is if her name is written in on the ballot.
I guaranteed you this. She's going to either make the ballot or we're going to write her in.
Now, I have to clarify that because we're going to show you some information today that, you know, it is kind of contraindicating of what's going on. So that's why I'm kind of questioning, could she actually legally be written in? I'm not a lawyer, but I have some questions because according to the rules that we're going to look at, there may be something different, okay? All right, so let's take this off the screen, and I want to remind you guys of her refiling she did on 12/13 that did not have Mr. Dixmoor. Oh, did I put the same thing up again? Dixmoor Mayor up there. Let me move that off. Hold on one second. Here we go. And then y'all know I've been creeping. I found something. I'm such a geek. I found something. She updated her website, y'all. So this is the petition that was filed in court at 12/13/2024. I don't have the original, but I would assume I'm bringing this up because there has to be some type of response. So I'm hoping that you know there'll be a content creator like the lawyer before if he got it to come out. I would like to see the response of what they're saying, and contest of what she's saying. And I'm just crossing my fingers to see what they say. So look at that because it should be a filing. That was since the 13th. But look what she did. Look what our sister soldier did. She don't go down without a fight. She finally updated her website. Okay. I did look at a few of her videos and she didn't update those corny videos. But there was one video I do want to show y'all. So she's trying to show receipts. Okay, so this is on TIffany's website. Okay, call to action. This is under her call to action website. This is the real TiffanyHenyard.com. Yeah, I know. I was creeping. I can't help it. All right, let's get to it. The message from Tiffany Henyard. My Thornton Township family, I'm writing you today, not just as your leader, but as your sister in this fight for justice and fairness and for the protection of our democracy. What we witnessed at the Democratic caucus was nothing short of an affront to democracy. On Saturday, December 7th, we reflect on the injustice that occurred when hundreds of us, your friends, your family, your neighbors, stood in the cold, locked out, waiting for the opportunity to cast our votes. And while we stood there in the bitter air, they let the friends in through the side door. Let me be clear. This was not an accident. This was not a misunderstanding. This was a deliberate act of voter suppression. As we know, I told you she was going to be crying that. Sounding like Trump. We have the proof. We have the videos. We have the testimony of the witnesses. People who saw exactly what happened. This wasn't just a betrayal of the process. It was a betrayal of the people. This isn't the 1920s when women and people of color were denied the right to vote. This isn't Jim Crow, where voter suppression was written into law. But make no mistake, what happened to us was just wrong. And y'all know Tiffany didn't write this, y'all. Y'all know she ain't write it. We owe it to the generations who come before us and the ones who face violation of hatred just to make sure we had this right. We owe it to our children and generations to show them that the democracy is worth fighting for. We will not let this go unanswered. We will ensure the voice of the people cannot be ignored, that this can continue. Community always stands up for what's right, and that such acts of voter suppression will never happen again. As Dr. King once said, the time is always right now to do what's right. And the time is now. Now, I don't know how she flipped a whole new leaf and forgot all the things that she did, but I'm just reading, okay, guys? I already know what y'all talk about. I already know. So this is some of the things that she's presented, okay, without us having to read the case. She putting her case out because you know what they do? This is what prosecutors not supposed to do, lawyers really not supposed to do, but they have been doing it a lot, going on social media and presenting their case to the public. And you know what? That ends up doing that creates a strain on the jury because you don't have an unbiased jury. But that's just what she's doing, just to give you a heads up what this is. She's having her trial right in front of us, but let's read it. Unfair rules targeting TIffany Henyard. Rules was adopted specifically to prevent TIffany A. Henyard from running for 2 seats, despite 2 positions being non-incompatible under the election code. Despite these positions being non-incompatible. Oh, okay. Under non-incompatible. What? The federal code. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm over here like, okay. Why did they word it like that? The federal court case has already deemed such rules illegal, making this decision as clear violation of the federal guidelines. Now, they do have some documents out there that kind of give guidelines to Illinois of what offices are really incompatible, but it does not say the mayor and the supervisor's office, okay? And it should. It should. There's plenty cases right now or that we have shown you that, you know, haven't been settled yet, but shows a great discrepancy between your position as a supervisor and as the mayor, using her power as mayor to fire people who were in positions that she wanted to do business with as a supervisor or get. Matter of fact, let's clarify this, because we talk about the supervisor position as though it is like the government position. She is the welfare queen. I'm not being funny. She is the person over services for these townships. And that's it. No mayor has to listen to her. No cop has to listen to her in Thornton Township. In Dalton, I think y'all should really been trying to get her off the election ballot. I know too as well, you know, Thornton has the money thing, but Dalton is where she has the power to manipulate people and harm them. And that's where she did a lot of harm to people. Jobs, businesses shutting down. You see what I'm saying? So I really, really think that you guys should just focus on Dalton as well to see, because nobody contested her in Dalton. Nobody. Okay. So let's move on. Venue manipulations, the things that she do all the time. The committee man rented the venue hours before voting was scheduled to begin, ensuring his supporters were already inside the building before the general public arrived. And y'all know how I felt about that. That should not have happened. Napoleon was celebrating before he we got this shit in the bag. Let's just party before so we can just get home early. Just finish. Tiffany was like, I nominate myself. He was like, invisible people don't count. Invisible, shut up. Y'all know I'm going to run this in the hole because y'all done gave her a room to fight. Y'all done gave this lady room to fight. But it's okay because I think I see something. I think she's really knocked out the box for supervisor. Unless this case get turned over. Okay? Okay, let's just, we ain't going to jump the gun. Okay? Blocking non-supporters from entering. So, you know, that and the like allegedly was both sides out there, delaying vetting process. So that was something that was really, really important to me because I was like, yo, how were they getting these people registered? What was the legal way? How are they checking and balancing them? These are things that the judge is going to ask. So she says she's making these claims. They're going to have to prove that they did this. That's why I want the residents to realistically, you know, figure out what may happen and don't be all, don't let the content creators take you down the roller coaster. Because Grace Levi said it that night. Oh, shit. Y'all not gave Tiffany a damn case. And everybody like, she out. And now look at this. We waiting. So that was one of the major things was the vetting process. And that is, like I said, I know Illinois. Okay. It, in a way, I'm going to say it's good that Illinois is a little bit crooked because Napoleon them fucked up. And he ain't going to get in trouble the way I think he should get in trouble as far as upholding his part as committee man. He's responsible for all of the things above in the process of that night. Now, I have said it could be some misdemeanors, some, what was it, felonies that we read, but he ain't going to jail. But it was wrong. We read that, okay? So I just want to show y'all that Tiffany is still, failure to properly vet participants in election manipulation by DOTT organization. Connect the DOTT. Who would have knew? Who would have knew Catcher Dog Smith was actually spelling something right? We all laughing at him, but that's what he was talking about. Actions by organization include bias and unfair targeting, activity undermining the democratic process, and suppression of voters' rights. So, okay, so that was a little update of Tiffany Page. She's trying to have her trial before the people. That's what you do. You see what I'm saying? Get them to start thinking about some things. But I told y'all she's trying to pull a Trump. You guys don't fall for it. As I mentioned, residents and people alike, you got to have your own agenda, not these parties' agenda. So let's get to defeated candidates. Now, I don't know if they're looking at her like a defeated candidate totally, but she is a defeated candidate, but in terms, okay? Because I can't say that totally because the process wasn't followed. But under this is the 2025 election, local election office handbook. We went over this a lot of times, but it's just more things as I go back into it. I see defeated candidates. Can you run again if you lose the primary or the caucus? Okay, primary or the caucus. An established party, and I do believe Tiffany is an established party. She's a Democrat. She's a Democrat. I don't know why she's trying to create a gray area right now. Well, it is, but in my eyes, I thought she was. That's why she showed up, dude. Because she was like, I'm part of y'all. And they was like, you're not part of the cool kids. Let me stop. I got jokes. Y'all just got to look at the video and see how people was. It was school days. Okay. So any established party candidate who filed nomination papers and who is defeated in the consolidated primary election is not eligible to have their name placed on the consolidated election ballot as an independent candidate or a candidate of another political party. You see what I'm saying? So if they don't overturn what happened, she can't run either or. And she can't switch parties in the same election. We heard that when we were listening to Nate Fields hearing. You cannot do that. I had a little gray area, like when could they do it? When can they do it? Definitely not within the election. And I think the year prior is kind of like the safe zone for them. She's been a Democrat. Okay. So election ballot as an independent, they cannot, or candidate of another political party, and is not eligible to file a declaration of intent to write in candidacy in the consolidated election. So that's why I kept saying, like, you heard the news was like, she can write it in. I'm not sure at this point, especially since she's fighting it in court, which is solidifying that, hey, you a Democrat. That's where you want to be. You see what I'm saying? Any established party candidate who is a participant in a party caucus and who is nominated and defeated. Well, let's say and. Y'all know those words mean a lot. Let me read it again. And any established party candidate who is a participant in a party caucus and who is nominated and defeated at the caucus is not eligible to have their name placed on the consolidated election ballot as an independent candidate or a new party. And that is according to 10 Illinois CS 5-7. Okay, and is not eligible to file a declaration of intent to write in either. So that's what I wanted to highlight. You guys maybe want to look it up. The declaration for intent to run as an independent was yesterday, 12/26. Okay, so if she did it, that means that she did it yesterday. Okay, so maybe someone can look into that, see if she put in to be a write-in, because that was supposed to be done by the 26th yesterday. Okay. Petition objection hearing. All right. So I think that's what I wanted to show you about that. And then I'm going to Did I jump to objective format of nomination paperwork? All right, I don't want to jump to Nate Fields right that quick. Hold on, there we go. Because I got a lot of stuff up. All right, also, this is how we're going to knock Tiffany out the box, okay, guys? Don't forget, she be cheating. So y'all got to be honorable and be extra fucking petty. I'm trying to tell you, we could be honorable and still win. So I found this 2024 quick guide for political candidates. And again, there is, y'all may want to freedom of information request this from Thornton Township. I definitely know that they ain't doing it in Dalton because the trustees ain't playing. They ain't playing with her not one damn bit. But she has done this in the past. But we already know that she is not supposed to be using any type of the township money for any of her election purposes. Quick guide of Cook County campaign regulations for political candidates. So I had scrolled down to the contribution limits. We talked about that. Anyone who does not have or done significant amount of businesses with the county, $10,000 or more during the preceding 4 years, prohibited source of income. So it had no more than $10,000 for people who are outside of Cook County. Lobbyists registered to Cook County as well, individuals seeking official actions from the county, and candidate elected officials. Okay, so y'all gotta look who is giving this lady contributions. I didn't get to look at it, but because this is not for her today, but I did hear that she was taking loans. Now, she may think she gonna win, and sometimes you have to do that, especially when you're going into something like this and you don't have a lot of funding behind you, because you have to come up with your own money, and then that'll show other people that they can invest in you because you're serious. So I can't knock her for taking a loan as long as they're in her own damn name and they ain't got nothing to do with the election. We're going to get into this document in future details when we talk about Tiffany and all the other candidates. But I wanted to get in permanent prohibitions on use of county funds for promotional materials. We have seen that now. I don't know if the promotional materials have to say directly for Mayor Henyard or for this type of person, directly for their campaign. But if she has anything going out when it comes to when she had those bingo games, things with her name on it, things that reflect election or connect to the election, this is telling you is prohibited. She's not supposed to do that. Not giving no pins, no nothing, none of that stuff, especially if she did not pay for it. Y'all remember that Carmen has said something about a company she was questioning. We're going to get into that company. I ain't going to re-say it now, but when I go into this, we're going to get into that company, okay? Because I think we're going to do that Sunday. Sunday, we're going to be getting into the numbers. I have put it off long enough. I did the numbers. I did the numbers for Thornton before, but I think that we're going to revisit it. Okay, we're going to revisit it and highlight 2023. We're going to revisit the grants and loans. We're going to just highlight the grants and loans, because one of the things that I brought up to Miss Wiedemann was, hey, what's going on with these grants and loans? Now, one of the things that I heard from her, it was like, okay, we get standard grants. And I saw that some of the grants was humongous, like during the COVID. It was kind of big. Let me see, can I do it like that? Yes, I'm back. Okay. It was kind of humongous. And then the next year they went down and down. What I was asking, and I wish we had more time because I know she would have been able to answer it, was how were you going to compensate the bills that was created based on the grant money? That's just the way life is. You get money, you win the lotto, you start spending more money, you create more bills, you have more liabilities. But for instance, you get a better car with more insurance, but you don't have the income that's coming in to sustain that lifestyle when that money run out. Does that make sense? So I'm like, how are you guys planning on getting this income in? And that wasn't a question that was answered, because we don't want all the money to be coming in from taxes, baby. That's enough. in tickets, because I will highlight that there was a content creator that talked about Delgado and Delgado alleged connection to the smart light or the speed light, something like that. And that's the one for out there for y'all. We have one out here called Speed Zone, School Zone, and it's pretty much the same thing where they're just ticking out zoo. Look, if it's 25 miles per hour, you go 36, ticket. $75, ticket. And then we know it's not law, because what I'm finding out here, and I don't know if you guys are experienced that, because it's going across the whole United States. These are private companies. They won't suspend your license if you don't pay for it, but they won't let you re-register your car for the county. Does that make sense? That's why I know this is a slow takeover and a slow push in to make something mandatory. Because as much as we acquiesce to these tickets that's coming in, as more as they're going to give it to us, and then it's going to become law. So that's where I think they're going to be getting that money from, the tickets and fines. And, that's what you have to pay attention to, especially one of the things it was mentioned that the trustees of Dalton, I'm going to between, Dalton had lowered the fines. And that was something that we talked about here. He's like, damn, the fines too damn much. And they lowered the fine. And one of them was for dog catching. And then the thing is that regardless if they lower the fines, if they don't fix the issue and don't have an actual animal control there, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? They're just putting a Band-Aid on it. So these are some of the things that you guys are going to have to pay attention to, because there's still like Band-Aids being put on stuff. Does that make sense? And they're not really totally being addressed. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent. For congressional candidates, we don't need that. Judicial candidates, deadlines. Petition and nomination paperwork must be filed by established deadlines that varies depending on the type of elections and the office being sought. Now, they almost contested Nate, one of the deadlines that said that he had put in his financial, I think his financial document late, but that was found not to be correct. And that's why you guys need to know the law, the cases, and pay attention to what you're doing when you're doing stuff, because you have these people putting all these frivolous type of filings on him, and he had to sit there and stand up for himself. Let me look at this real quick. Write-in candidacies. So did we go into the write-in candidacy? We did go into write-in candidacy. If I didn't, did I go into the write-in candidacy for Henyard? Let me know, because I just talked about hold on. Yeah, all I had to share with you guys. Let me just make sure. All I had to share with you guys was that she was supposed to be, if she was able to write in, she was supposed to do it from the yesterday. Hold on. I think I had this back up there again. Hold on. I want to make sure that I'm not missing out on nothing that I wanted to tell y'all, because it was a lot to go through this. I was racking my brain, because reading case law is not fun, y'all. It's not fun, and it's not easy, and I'm going to explain to y'all. I'm like, but I did it. Okay, types of candidates. And let me just say the 18, just to make sure independent candidate, write-in candidates. Okay. So the declaration of intent form was supposed to be filed yesterday. That's the form that she's supposed to write, file in to say that she was going to be a write-in ballot. So please petition that to see if she did that, if she had the cahoots to do that. Write-in candidate qualify for general election. Write-in candidate running for the primary to qualify as a candidate for established political party in general election. She lost, so she can't do that. A write-in candidate must receive a number of votes that is equal or greater than the number of signatures required for the petition. Exactly, Mr. Roberts. No signatures, no nothing for Thornton. She can't even do it. She can't do write-in at all. That's why I said I'm missing something. I knew it was something with the write-in candidacy. So a write-in candidate must receive the number of votes that is equal to or greater than the number of signatures required on the petition for that office. If the number of candidates whose name appears on the primary ballot is less than the number of persons the party is entitled to nominate the elected. So even if she wanted to do that, she supposed to got a certain number of signatures. But who signed for Napoleon though? Right? I'm just saying. They said compared to the person who was already nominated, right? Am I reading that right? Yeah, it says that. Let me read. Well, who signed for Napoleon? Don't be telling me Tiffany got a chance. Let me reread this real quick. How I just got epiphany, like what? Okay, so let's read this together. For write-in candidates running in a primary to qualify as a candidate for the established political party in the general election, a write-in candidate must receive the number of votes that is equal to or greater than the number of signatures required on a petition for that office. If the number of candidates whose name appear on the primary ballot is less than the number of persons, the party is established to nominate or elect to the office a primary election. All right. So the number of voters required for a write-in candidate to be nominated or elected to the office of the primary as outlined above. The number of votes they receive exceed the number of votes received by the last one of the candidates whose name was printed on the ballot for nominee. Ooh. The number of candidates whose names appears on the ballot equal or exceed the numbers of person party is entitled to nominee. So you think she got some signatures? What you think? Let me find out. Mr. Roberts, I need your help. How I just read that like, woo, what the hell? Because I know ain't nobody writing no damn Napoleon there. His ass was like, I'm here. Let me stop. I'm being real. We're gonna have to revisit that. It's getting a lot. It's getting kind of hectic. Okay, we're gonna. It was something. I'm glad I brought that up. We're gonna revisit that to see. In the comments, I'm gonna start to get out of here. We're gonna get to the last few at the bottom. Thank you for participating. It says either Nate or Napoleon will take over. Either or. That's it. Who else you got? Or the Republicans fuck around. Oh, no. Can I show y'all who the fuck running? Let me show you the guy. Shout out to my favorite resident. Y'all want to know? Oh, shit. Let me do this. Y'all gonna laugh. You gotta go up. You gotta go on this note. She showed me who is the Republican candidate. Y'all give me a second. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm gonna start with y'all comments. Check this shit out. Let me make sure I ain't gonna be having all my business out there. Who the hell is that? Give me a second. Woo! Look at it. Look, as we broadcasted, she was updating me that they still driving these buses. Did they approve the insurance? I don't think so. I had told you I got to go back and look at it. I know they didn't approve the insurance. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to pull up the Republican candidate and a little bit about him, y'all. Oh my God. Damn, this thing moving slow. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Y'all want to see him? Shout out to my favorite residents that keep me on fucking task. Y'all want to see who Nolan is? Look at this meter freaker. Look. This don't look too good, y'all. There you go. This man looks scary. There you go. Check him out, y'all. Y'all see that? That's your Republican candidate for Thornton Township office. This is who he is, y'all. I said, what the? That scared the hell out of me. Nolan is a certified in municipal law. This is the person. He probably a nice guy, but I don't know. He remind me of the Crip people. I got nervous. Nolan is a certified municipal law and governance with experience in municipal finance and administration. He is a member of the Minister Conference of South Cook County and has hosted events for former Illinois governor. He is a former vice president of the School Board 133 in Riverdale, Illinois, and a former village trustee in Riverdale, Illinois. Y'all see who that is? Y'all think that he got a chance? Let me just get to the article I think she showed me. Oh my God. Ooh, who the hell is this? David Burns, cute. Let me stop, y'all. I didn't mean to say that. Let me put this guy on the thing. All right, let's find about the Republicans, because y'all talking about that's their only chance. Shit, these movies over here, they be creeping. They've been creeping. They said they getting ready. They're going to beat the streets. I thought it was white guys. They got y'all fooled. Y'all thought y'all was about to be looking for some white Republicans. Nope. They're going to identify with you. Here you go. This was December 5th. I'm so behind. And see the video of the caucus, their caucus. We showed the caucus, okay? So this is the Republican candidate for Thornton Township office, Richard Nolan, for the office of Township Supervisor. That's him. Nolan is a certified. We talked about that. This is for the office of Thornton Township Trustee, David Burns. Burns was born and raised in Chicago and has lived in the south and west side of the city. He is a community healthcare worker, outreach worker, counselor, and a father of 5. He also currently serves as a volunteer with Servants for Hope, and Chicago-based nonprofit for promoting mental health, addressing basic human physical needs, and fostering, lastly, positive change in low-income families. They throwing out their profile. That's what I'm telling you. Y'all candidates better stop playing like, oh, I got a name. I'm just going to get that. What the fuck are you doing? Because these people coming in hot. Jeffrey Coleman, let's go for trustee. This Republican. Coleman is a current deputy Republican committeeman in Thornton Township and a former Republican committee of Calumet Township. He is the CEO of a barbershop network news, president of Van Venture, and president of 3DMKT. Don't know what that is. He ran for Senate representative in 2022 and obviously didn't win, but there he go. We got another trustee up here, Carl V. Dombrowski. Mr. Dombrowski has been a small business owner for 45 years and a top producing sales professional in the moving and storage industry. He coaches Lansing Little League for 16 years and served as a parent board president in the Merritt School of Music in Chicago. We got enough. Y'all keep playing around. I'm talking about we only got these candidates. Who knows these people though? Just because y'all don't know them and because they got YouTube streets kind of on lockdown with all the, the Clean House 2025 and what we've been paying attention to. These people coming in somewhere. So, for the office of Township Trustees, Keisha Richardson. Remember that? Look at the face. Richardson is a small business owner and has over 20 years of corporate finance and corporate trust experience. She also worked for the NPCA in a nonprofit sector, working with hundreds of communities, stakeholders to implement a award-winning vision. Positioning Pullman, she is currently a board member of the New Solo Wellness Organization. And this is the guy that's going for highway commissioner. This was the one we saw in the video. His name is D. Young. Remember, he was like, I'm so excited. We're going to take our break and then we're going to hit the streets, dog. He said, I got my black team. He ain't playing with y'all. Go ahead and think that the Republicans ain't got nothing up their sleeves. Last person, D. Young has filled a role of Republican committeeman in Thornton Township for 10 years and has been in technology management for over 25 years. He currently serves as a planning and development commission in the village of South Highland and on the school board of Calvin Christian School in South Highland. So if y'all want to find out a little bit more, I will share this article with you. But we're going to share with you what's really going on. Don't sleep on the kids. Y'all got some competition coming up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got some competition. Shut up. Shut up. Okay? Stop. That's discrimination. I can say it how I want. Okay? This as long as you learn to lie on this broadcast. Okay? Anyway, I love you. I don't care. Say what you want to say. Express what you want. Just don't be disrespectful. I appreciate it. Maybe one day I won't say the S in Illinois. Shut up, y'all. I love you guys. I'm going to go off with some music and I'll be back on Sunday. We're going to look at the numbers, okay? Hit the like button.
Leader, they want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work. Y'all forget I am the leader.
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election
2013?
for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Terms 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Okay, next.
A bullshit. A bullshit.